fresh out the box.
Fresh California plums.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Fresh Film Fridays, the podcast where two dudes spin a wheel every other Friday. It chooses the newest streaming movie and we discuss it. Today we're talking about the 2021 film The Guilty, which was directed by Antoine Fuqua and is streaming on Netflix. I'm your co-host Alec.
I'm Justin.
And Justin, what the hell did you think of The Guilty?
You know, my initial reaction was I was a little upset, not because I didn't like it, but I was just upset because for probably half of the movie, my mind was speculating. I was like, I think this is going to happen. Oh, I think this is going to happen. I thought he was imagining it. I thought he was high the whole time. And then I kind of settled down and I thought about it and I was like, it was actually really good.
I took a couple deep breaths. I was like, you know what?
I walked around. I hit the wall a couple times.
Hit the wall, put a picture over the hole in the wall so my girlfriend doesn't see, and then I sat down and thought this is a good movie.
But I mean, if you think about it though, 95% of the movie is just Jake Gyllenhaal talking on the phone.
I mean, isn't it 100% of the movie? What part wasn't him?
Well, I mean, every now and then, his sergeant's like, what did I say about the phone? They had other lines. But the majority of it was literally just Jake Gyllenhaal expressing different emotions and shit over the phone.
Yeah, I don't think, and I mean, I have to watch it again, but I don't think there's one scene where he's not on camera. Even if it does focus on somebody else, yelling or whatever, it's still him the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple scenes where the camera was panned on those TVs of the California wildfires, but yeah, he was basically in every scene.
Yeah, every shot, dude. He is in every scene. He's in every single fucking shot, which is just, it's the only other movie I can think of that's even remotely comparable, which even takes it farther, is that Buried movie with Ryan Reynolds. You ever see that?
I didn't, but I know the concept behind it.
Yeah, man. I remember that's actually, damn, that came out in 2010. Holy shit. But yeah, I saw that when it first came out and I was like, there's no way they can do an entire movie in a coffin. There's no way. And they do. And they pull it off. And then this movie, again, I knew nothing about this movie. I didn't look up the trailer. I didn't read anything about it. So I was like, all right, I'll put it on. And then it took place in that dispatch room for the whole movie. The whole movie. Never leaves once.
I didn't know anything about it either. I saw Jake Gyllenhaal on it, and I was like, you had me at Jake Gyllenhaal. So.
I know. We just did Donnie Darko and Wheel Horror, so I was like, yeah, give me some more Jake. Let's go.
Yeah. I read some reviews on it. Apparently, this is a remake of a Danish film.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I read, if it's accurate, the director, Antoine Fuqua, if that's how you say it, he's like, it's pronounced fuck. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Fuck you, eh?
Apparently he directed this, during COVID, obviously, and someone said that he directed it from the back of a van. So I don't know if he was in his car separated or something.
Yeah, a lot of directors do that where it's what is it called?
Just don't want to show up to work. So they
No. It's called Monitor City or something like that, where they'll have the director and a couple other people, and then they'll have the first AD, the first assistant director. They'll be on set actually seeing the logistics out. I'm not trying to name drop here, but when I did Wolf of Wall Street, there was a first AD who was just on set directly speaking to the actors, directly making sure it was good. And Martin Scorsese was in a whole nother room and was watching it on the monitor. And then Leo would leave, go back with the monitor, check with him, and then they'd come back and they'd do it and stuff like that. But so that's not that uncommon, but I'm sure this had to do more with COVID, I would assume.
Okay. A lot of big name people in this, which you wouldn't know because it's all over the phone.
Right.
I did recognize, obviously, Bill Burr immediately.
Dude, I didn't. I looked at him up.
What? Are you serious?
No, I didn't. Dude, he's killing it right now. He's in everything.
Oh, dude, the second he was on the phone, I was just like, is that fucking Bill Burr?
Yeah, I missed that.
I had zero clue that his sergeant was Ethan Hawke.
Me too.
Didn't recognize his voice at all.
Yep.
But there's 10 pretty big name people in this.
Yeah, dude, complete. Because that's the thing. When I saw it was Jake Gyllenhaal, Ethan Hawke. I was like, okay, cool. So this should be interesting. I was like, what the fuck is Ethan Hawke? He's not even in this movie. And then I looked up everybody, and I was like, okay, it's actually quite a Paul Dano. Damn.
Which one is Paul Dano?
He was the guy in the beginning who, like, got his laptop stolen
Oh,
and
oh, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so, like, that's the thing, and I'm thinking about this like, "Damn, this would have been such a cool movie to audition for," where it's like, you're not gonna know what this movie is, but when you got the break or, doing the voiceover stuff, when I would get the breakdown, it would just be like, live action movie, you're on call with a dispatcher, very realistic, no character acting, just be it'd probably be very much like that, but
Yeah, I'm sure they were like, pretend like you're getting mugged and you're calling 911.
yeah, they did a really great job, though, like, having it completely feel real, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, my first reaction was I was kind of upset because I played out all these scenarios in my head. Like, remember at the end when he looked into the mirror, just like in the beginning, and he was taking puffs of his inhaler?
Yeah.
Like, a part of me was kind of hoping that, like his coworker came out of the bathroom again, and like that whole movie was in the span of 5 seconds. And I would have been like, whoa, what a twist. But nothing crazy like that happened. So.
Yeah, no, I loved the first, like, hour, and then for some reason, reality started setting into it a little bit, and I was like, "Alright, if this girl is abducted, like, why does she have a phone?" Like, so much. Like, I know her husband thinks she's crazy, but, like, why would he ever give her the phone still?
Well, maybe. Well, I think his the concept behind it was he thought she was just saying goodnight to like the kid. But yeah, you kind of had to like go along with the fact that he was crazy, she was crazy. But I thought the twist at the end, the second the person I forgot who said it first was like, "Oh, there were worms in his stomach," and I was like, "Dude, no way, she's crazy," and she totally cut the worms out of his or the snakes out of his stomach.
Yeah, that was a big twist, obviously knowing that yeah, that Emily is the murderer, but Henry did not do himself any favors. He could have immediately been like, "Hey,
Oh yeah.
I need to talk to you." Sort of he's just like, "You don't know shit." Like, sort of thing. He's, like, playing it up. I was like, "You're an idiot, dude. You're a fucking idiot."
Yeah, he realistically, I can't ever see someone who's like the hostage, whose like wife just killed their kid, being like that resilient to help. Like every response was very defensive. He's like, "You don't know me." It's just like,
Yeah. So I mean, even though Jake Gyllenhaal is clearly on like the verge of a mental breakdown, he should still be like, you know what? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not there. I have no idea what's really happening. So instead of telling people to go kick in doors and like, just fucking shut the freeway down, like you're probably
yeah.
wrong. More likely than not, you're wrong about what's going on. But
Yeah, the way I was looking at it was he's working. You find out he's working like the second shift, like into early mornings. They get out at like 2 a.m. and he's clearly going through something with his like wife and kid, who you find out he's not with. And then there's some kind of like police investigation going on, which is why he's like on probation and dispatch. So like you got Jake Gyllenhaal's going through this very stressful period on top of the fact that like he's clearly taking medication and he's having like massive panic attacks all throughout the movie.
yeah.
And he's just like acting very irrational.
Well, he's breathing an inhaler, so it's not like he's, like, popping pills or anything like that, and he's coughing constantly, so it's like, it's not from the wildfires, I don't think. This sounds like something else, but they never really explain why his lungs are in such bad shape.
Yeah, I thought it was like panic attacks, and because like his vision was going blurry and he was like sweating profusely,
Yeah.
and I didn't understand why he was coughing though.
Right, no one else is, though, so it's like
Yeah, the camera did like pan on the fires a lot. It would like pause on the fires probably half a dozen times. So
yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, so but he always is gripping his inhaler like it's like a stress ball almost, you know?
he's squeezing the shit out.
It's like, "Fuck." Yeah, but dude, like, I don't know, man. Jake Gyllenhaal did a fantastic job, and all I could do was just watch him. I was like, this guy's life fucking sucks. Like, obviously, he did something terrible, which got him into the dispatch room, and he knows that tomorrow when he goes into court, he's going to jail. Like, he knows this, and he wants to see his daughter. He wants so bad, and he has this job where you can't be on you shouldn't even be able to bring your phone into that room, but he just keeps looking down. He's like, I gotta call my daughter because I know I'm going to jail tomorrow, but I can't leave this woman hanging. It was just like, yeah, the stress was unbelievable.
Yeah, you find out kind of they give you little tips, hints throughout the movie. Like he wanted to say good night so badly because he kind of knew that he was going to go to jail and he would never see, or he wouldn't see her for a while. And then he kind of like tells you at the end why he's guilty. But dude, I don't know if you thought of this too. Like when he was calling his partner, Rick or
Rick,
something,
Rick, yeah.
didn't it seem kind of like I felt like he was almost imagining it? It would be like the equivalent of if I called you on the phone and I was like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And then like a smooth 5 Mississippis went by and you were like, "I'm good." Like it was really delayed.
Well, I think they kind of alluded to the fact that he'd been drinking, Rick.
Yeah, but was he fucking plastered? Like,
Dude, well, I was thinking about this because okay, so Rick, the actor that plays him, Eli Gore, and he's black, and I was imagining, I mean, I'm assuming Jake Gyllenhaal killed a 19-year-old black kid, and
oh,
now his partner is a young black man who's basically like, I'm gonna defend you, dude, but like, I am putting my life on the line defending you because I know that you're a piece of shit, you know you're a piece of shit, and I'm trying to help you, dude. So he's probably like going through a lot himself, that guy, Rick.
yeah, and they don't really tell you unless I missed it. Like, it doesn't get into the specifics of what happened that night. He just tells you, from what I remember, he got really upset and like a younger person did something really bad, but he kind of just lost it and like wanted to punish him and kill them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he doesn't. You don't know what though.
Well, they keep kind of like saying because he's like, "So why'd you do that?" When he's talking to Emily in the bathroom stall or whatever, and he's like, I don't." It's like he's about to say because I'm fucking racist. Like he's about to say it, but he can't, sort of thing. I don't know. That's kind of what I got from it, where it's like that's why he accepted his fate because he's like, you know what, I deserve this. I need this. Like this is kind of because he's about to snap, dude. You know, he's lying. He's getting his partner involved, like all this other stuff. It's like he needs to go to jail.
Yeah, I saw it as he realized the repercussions of the woman on the phone, Emily, who didn't get help, didn't take her medication, and they thought it'd be okay, and it clearly wasn't. And like he was kind of trying to avoid that. Like he clearly wasn't okay. And I think due to like the kid almost dying and Emily almost jumping off the bridge, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna avoid that and just get the help or punishment that I need.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because he does call that journalist and eventually he finally is like, "Fucking I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel." And it feels like after he saves or Emily gets saved and he speaks to that other dispatcher who's just like, "Yeah, we got her. We got her. She's off the bridge," or whatever. Like, it sets in for a second that it's a thankless job, you know? Like, he's never gonna see Emily. He's never probably gonna see Henry or any of these people ever again, and he's like, "I just spent the past few hours so hyper focused on saving complete strangers. And when my life's about to completely crumble, I found solace in like injecting myself into their problem. And then when it's over, it's like, okay, now I'm back to my bullshit life." And he's just like, and no one's ever really going to know what I did.
Yeah, definitely a deeper way to look into it. Like he was technically done hours ago. He could have left and been like, "Not my problem," but he kept trying over and over again. And yeah, you're right. The California Highway State dispatcher lady, like, she said it very like without emotion. She's like, "We got her," and just hung up and was like, "Just another day."
Yeah. Good job, Bear. And then hung up. And he's just sitting there like, fuck, man. And that's the thing. It's like, if you're a cop, like that's kind of the job. It's like you are literally putting your life on the line every single day for complete strangers, and whether you do right or wrong, you're probably never going to get the credit that you see, that what you do is probably going to go unnoticed most of the time, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting kind of way. The other thing is, did not realize this, the writer, dude, you know what else he wrote?
I forgot, but I know it's something good.
Motherfucking True Blood. I mean, sorry, whoa. Motherfucking sorry.
What?
Mo
Suck
m mo Motherfucking True Detective. Sorry.
Okay. I mean, both good shows,
I've never
completely different genres.
I've never seen True Blood, but no, but True Detective, sorry, I meant True Detective. Nicholas, Pizzolatto. Yeah, dude, because I saw the name and I was like, "Wait, is that the guy that wrote Goodfellas?" And I was like, "Oh, no, it's a different Nick, like, you know, Pizzolatto Zenino." But,
Nick Pepperoni Pizza.
yeah, there you go, there you go. So then no, but this is the guy that did, yeah, True Detective, and I was like, "Dude," because
Okay.
the writing is pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, like for a movie that's so simple, like I said, 95% of this movie is the camera just very close on Jake Gyllenhaal sitting in a room.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got to think like he's not actually like looking at anyone, talking to anyone. For all we know, like he could be talking to no one, and they just like put the recordings of those people perfectly timed into the phone,
Yeah.
and he did it great.
I know. I wanna know how they did it, if it was actually them. I don't think it was them on the phone. I just don't think, because there's sound effects they had to add in, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe they did that in post, and they actually did have, like, Paul Dano talking on the phone. But another thing is, which in the beginning I thought was kinda funny, where he's like, "This is your own fault." You know that, right? Like, he's, like, kinda digging into them, but I was like, "Yo, he's, really bad at this for the most part."
I mean, he's having a bad day.
Okay, but, like, you don't get to have a bad day when you're a police dispatcher. Like, you gotta leave your life at the door, and he does not.
True, and then I mean, dude, yeah, I mean, he's probably having an extra bad day because he knows he's going to jail.
I mean, yeah, granted, yes, he is having a horrible day, but, like, dude, he's acting like that guy that got hurt on the bike. Like, he's like, "Yeah, yeah, you gotta figure it out." He's like, "I need help." He's like, "You should be drunk." He's like, "You don't know that, Jake Gyllenhaal."
He was like, "Get an Uber." I was like, "Wow, that's pretty dick."
Well, and that's the other thing, aren't all of those phone calls recorded? All of them?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain.
So, like, dude, he's fucked. Like, when they review this at, like, I'm sure they have to review it randomly, but, like, dude, he was horrible to everybody except for Emily.
Oh, dude, I am curious if like there are any super fancy dispatch rooms that actually have like, dude, it looked like a high-tech space center. Like each desk had 5 super wide flat screen monitors, and then like the wall was literally like an IMAX screen of TVs. And I'm like, where did they get listen, there's no police station that has this kind of funding.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It did. It looked like a CNN sort of like The Room with Wolf Blitzer and like all this like crazy stuff going on. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was weird. And it's also like he's on the ground or whatever. He's a cop that's driving around LA.
He's working the beat,
Yeah, so it's almost like Farva in Super Troopers, like, "You back on the fucking phones." And he's on the phones, but then he's got that guy next to him, Manny or whatever, who's
Yeah.
like knows more than him, but like he talks down to him like he's a piece of shit.
Well, Manny is an actual dispatcher. Like
Right. That's
he's the only one who's like a cop who's there. And then there's like the female sergeant who I guess is in charge of the dispatchers. Yeah, he's probably having a bad day, and like I don't know. He apologized to Manny, so I mean that was at least nice. But yeah, Manny was like, "Yeah, man, you're kind of being an asshole."
dude, I just like I'm sorry, but like if you're a police officer and your superior is right there and they're like, "Baylor, calm down." And he's like, "Shut the fuck up and get me the fucking phone." Like freaking out. They'd be like, all right, get out of here. Just get out of here for a second. You can't behave like this."
Well, if I got the timing correct, it sounds like this happened 6 months ago. It also sounds like the reason him and his wife got separated is because this probably had some, complications in their marriage.
Yeah.
Because he still has the ring on, but she was like, "It's been 6 months. Like, why are you still calling me and shit?"
Yeah.
So he's probably been there in that demoted status for 6 months. He knows he's probably going to jail, and like it sounds like he's kind of like the resident like pain in the ass because they're all like upset with him. She's like, "You're not supposed to be on the phone," and
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's a little bit much where I'm kind of like, all right, Jake Gyllenhaal, like you gotta calm down, dude. Like sometimes, like when that one guy's like, "Hey, I think there's a woman named Emily on the phone." It's like, get the fucking call.
yeah, he basically went from 0 to 100 like every time. Like when he punched the lamp off the desk, and they're like, "Hey, there's Emily for you," and he like, dude, I thought he was gonna rip his face off. Like
Oh my
it was
god, dude.
so bad, dude.
Dude, even in the beginning when Emily's just like, "Hey, it's like, well, I'm not gonna put you through." It's just like, "Put me through." He's like, "God damn it." And he's like, "Ah." And she just like puts him through. I'm just like, dude, it has been seconds. You have no idea what's going on. You're already acting like this is the climax of the movie. And you're like, you guys don't know. I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
realistically, like that person would have called his boss and been like, "Listen, this Baylor guy's a dick. Like, you got to do something about him."
I know. Yeah, it's like, yeah, he is freaking out here too, and he's being a dick to. It's like, all right, Baylor, get the fuck out of here. Like, and also with the Ethan Hawke character, like Sergeant Bill or whatever, like he's so cool to him in the beginning. He's like, "Hey man, like what are you still doing there?" And then at the end, he's like, "I told you to go home. What the fuck are you doing?" He's like freaking out.
Yeah, I was picking up on vibes, and it was very like it sounded like his sergeant was, obviously he cared for him because he's, his sergeant who they all look out for each other's lives and stuff. But yeah, he's probably understanding because of the situation he's in with his family. He knows he has court tomorrow. But at the same time, like I got vibes from the sergeant that like he was also kind of like, I feel like he knew he did something wrong, And at the end, like each time he spoke to him, he was getting more and more like short and stressed. And finally, he was just like, enough of this shit. Like, you gotta stop.
He's like, "Say goodnight to your daughter for me." He's like, "She's asleep." It's like, "Fucking tomorrow. God damn it." And he just hangs up. Like, I'm so sick of your shit. Dude, because everybody knows that Jake Gyllenhaal was guilty, and Jake Gyllenhaal was like, "Well, fuck it. I'm a cop. Like this is what we do." And it's like, "No, what you
It's just,
did, dude, what you did is different." So the fact that he has anybody even remotely trying to stand up for him and he like is playing into it, he's like, "Yeah, right, guys," and he knows and they know and everybody knows he's wrong. I wonder what it is though that really sets him off though, like to change, like what flips that switch? What moment?
I don't know. It was definitely like the last few minutes of his call with Emily. I think he just kind of like, I think as time went on, he kind of just gave in and was like, he's got to do the right thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like he saved
Because
someone.
in the beginning, his first call with his partner, he was like, "Stop drinking, get your story straight. Like, you better be there on time. I need you as my witness." He wanted his wife there as the witness. And then it was kind of like, I thought a bunch of things were going to happen. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was going to leave the dispatch and
Yeah.
go try and find them. I thought he was going to physically kick the door down himself and look for these kids. Also, I kind of thought it was like a post-apocalyptic kind of futuristic because like it looked like California was like literally burning to the ground. I
Yeah.
was like, is this like an emergency state where like California is no more?
I mean, dude, since I've lived out here, it's never looked that bad, like, I've seen a couple times where especially when I was driving out to the desert where I was like, "Whoa, the sky is, like, bright orange," and, like, it looked like it was about to rain, but it was actually just smoke. But this was like Mordor, like the pits of hell. I was like, "That's."
the because the fire was burning the entire shift, and
Yeah.
then those state troopers were like, "We can't see a thing out here. There's ash everywhere." And I'm like, what's going on? Is there like a volcano erupt? Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know when this actually takes place because 'cause I'm like, if I was living here during when these fires are supposed to be, like, I was like, definitely a little bit exaggerated. I mean, I think. I never saw 'em.
The only thing I can think of is that they overplayed the fire and kept looking at the fire just to kind of like play in to the overall theory that like everything is going wrong at the same time in this person, during Jake Gyllenhaal's final day.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, it's like kinda like Murphy's Law, like,
Dude, like even when he went to get the coffee, it was like a quarter cup of coffee, and you could tell he was just like, "Motherfucker, dude." Like,
I thought he was gonna flip out. He's like, "Nobody fills up the coffee!" Like, whips it at the wall.
and then like I couldn't see, but I think he went to get a sugar packet and it was like Splenda, and he was just like, not even real sugar. Like,
Yeah, I think, yeah, he was, like, making green tea, and then he went to go get sugar. He's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill somebody." It's like, "Alright, alright, alright. You shouldn't be a cop, Jake Gyllenhaal."
I was waiting for him to just like put his gun to the back of Manny's head, like, I'm sick of this shit.
"You wanna go get a beer, man?" It's like, "Alright, Jesus Christ." Also, when and where were they gonna go get a beer? They get off at 2 a.m. Like, what?
Well, here's the thing. I'm sure there's a bar open, but to the better point, he has like court in 4 hours.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Where like he's telling his partner not to be drunk. Like, how bad would it look if you showed up intoxicated to that?
Why is he even working the day before this trial?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Take the day, like, get a good night's sleep, take a shower, like, don't come in, get after, like, 2 hours of sleep. Your witness is drunk, sleeping in his car after breaking into someone's house, like, what are we doing here, guys? Come on, be smarter.
I mean, realistically, he probably should have been in Mexico the prior week on vacation and like, well, just in case.
Oh, they're never gonna let him leave the country, dude. The fact that I mean, we
Yeah.
don't really know what he did exactly, but it sounds like he killed a young teen and probably shouldn't even be working dispatch. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. We don't know what happened, but from now on, though, I always just literally just want to be like, "Hey, man, do you know what it was?
What?
Snakes."
No.
Just like out of nowhere, people are just like, "What? Like, what are you talking?"
Dude, yeah, like at the end when Emily was like, "Was it snakes?" And he's like, "Yeah, okay, crazy."
Yes, it was snakes.
It was snakes. You got it.
Snakes. It's snakes.
Dude, when he told Emily to hit Henry in the head with a brick,
Oh
and
yeah.
then he was talking to Henry, and he's just like, "Oh, my head hurts." He was like, "Oh shit, what did I do?"
See, that's again where the movie starts to lose me, where I'm like, okay, your wife is crazy. She just stabbed your toddler in the stomach and tried to get snakes out of him. Why
Mhm.
is she in your car with bricks next to her? And why does she have her cell phone if you're trying to take her to a mental asylum? Like, what the fuck is the logic here?
Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't sound like Henry's too intelligent. I mean, they're all at their house, right?
Yeah.
And Henry went, I guess they don't live together. Henry went to pick his ex-wife up or whatever, and she's got blood on her, I'm guessing, because she just literally stabbed her infant son in the stomach.
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to leave this baby here to die and drive you in my van that just so happens to have bricks in the back of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't. That was that they could have done that better.
That's where I started getting a little lost. I'm sorry, but like the whole situation that unfolded for Henry to still be like, I am essentially 5150ing you. Like, I'm forcing you to go to a mental asylum. Take her phone and any weapons away. She just murdered a toddler. And that's the other thing. It's like Jake Gyllenhaal's like, all right, pretend you're talking to your kid or whatever. Dude, just take the phone. He's like, who are you talking to? Hey, what are you doing? Oh, hey, you that you just killed my kid. What are you doing? Hey, it's just like, all right, just oh my god, take the phone away.
Yeah, and I actually thought it was kind of funny when Jake was talking to Abby, the daughter. That was like the most coherent conversation with a 6-year-old I've ever heard. He was like asking her about her. She's like, yeah, he's in the other room. Like most people would be like, that baby would be like, I don't know what's going on,
I
dude.
mean, 6 years old is not like completely useless. Like they can.
It's pretty useless.
Well, it's funny though because I think the way that he like got information out of her was actually pretty smart. Like, I being like, "How do you call your daddy?" And he like reads the number or whatever. I was like, "Oh, okay." So like, I don't know.
I was expecting it to be way cornier when he was like, "What do you call daddy?" And I was waiting for her to be like, "Daddy," and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Jake."
Uh, yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean, yeah. What would you give this out of 5 Keanu's, Justin?
Well, IMDb gave this a 6.3, which I think is a little low.
Really?
Out of 5, uh, okay, I'll give it a little more than it. I'll give it like a 3.2.
Okay.
I feel like 3.5 might be a tad high, and 3 would be discrediting it. I think you should see it because it's good, and it's definitely, unless like you just don't pick up on it. Like if you just look at it as Jake Gyllenhaal talking on the phone for an hour and a half, then yeah, it's probably going to sound stupid. But like if you actually think through it, like how we just discussed it, it's actually a very good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 3 is fair. I mean, it's very well acted by Jake Gyllenhaal, believable performances from the people on the phones. There's a couple parts that make the plot not as cool, but overall, like, it's very original, you can't really compare this to a lot of movies, and it tried something different, so kudos for you guys.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So I'm gonna make a little bit of an executive decision here, Justin. I know Dune just came out today in theaters on HBO Max. You're about to start it. I am fucked for eternity until October's over, so I'm gonna start it next week. But do you want to do Dune on the next episode?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a big movie, so I'd love to be able to talk about that with you.
yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for listening into our discussion on The Guilty, and we will see you in 2 weeks for Dune.
All right.